Hello, this video shows you how to use Zapier to automate ordering from your shopping cart to TrepStar. Now, first of all, you'd want to go to TrepStar, look at our automate ordering section, and try to find your shopping cart here. If it's one of these already, for example, Shopify, you should just use our integration that we've already written. But if yours is not listed in this list, you can use Zapier or ShipStation, but this video concentrates on Zapier. What we want to do then is try to see if your shopping cart is one of the carts. This one, for example, is done. It's a Sam cart example. We already have an integration for Sam cart, but this is just used as an example here. If you have Volusion, Magento, 3D cart, EcWid, there's others coming on all the time, but what we want to do is see if your cart is supported. So we're going to do make a zap, and we're going to just try to type in part of your shopping cart, whatever you may have. In this case, I'm going to just type Magento, and sure enough, we're going to just try this one, and then there's always going to be something like new order or new order submitted or something like that. This is going to be the trigger. Let's change this back and try to pick Volusion as an example. So let's say we find Volusion in here because Zapier has already written an integration to Volusion. This one's called a new product as well. So that's what we'd want to do and then continue. But in this case and in this example, we're going to just do a Sam cart example, and it would be none of these ones here, but a new order. And when we continue, we're going to then log into your account. So in this step, you're going to be given the ability to log into your shopping cart through here. So you're basically giving Zapier your credentials. So do your login step for whatever cart you've picked here. It's EcWid, Volusion, Magento, 3D cart, etc. In this case, we've already done this before, so we're going to pick the one that we added here a few days ago already, and then we could continue. Now, there's a lot of orders you may already have received from your shopping cart. Assuming you have a few, what we're going to do is this find data step. So whatever your shopping cart might be, you're going to want to try to get some data. So in this case, Zapier logged into your account behind the scenes and grabbed a few orders. We're just going to take this order and continue. So we're going to say done editing. So once you're all done with that, when you have a new order in whatever shopping cart you happen to have, you're going to want to do what's called a webhook by Zapier. This is already built into Zapier. So we're going to do this step, and we're going to always do a post, and then we're going to go ahead and hit continue here. We'll show you how to fill all these fields, and we've already done this for Sam cart. We're going to switch over to that completed example, but you're going to fill in information here and add data to each field. We'll just click on one of these links. So that order that was received earlier in this process, we're going to go ahead and see that there's all kinds of, let's show that again, all kinds of data that came in on that order. If we scroll down, we see this unique ID. You want to try to find something unique. This is the order ID. This is going to be used as an invoice. Here's an example. TrepStar will receive this data called invoice, and you just want to match it to whatever is unique within your data. So a different shopping cart might call it invoice, or might call it order ID, or anything. In Sam cart, it's just called ID, and this number is unique to this particular order. And TrepStar is going to want that order ID, and we call it invoice. So now we're going to switch over to a completed version of this integration. We didn't name it yet. This is where you click and you could type in Sam cart order to TrepStar, for example. Anything you want is fine. We're going to go back here, and in fact, we have another one that's already created. We call the TrepStar order Sam cart. It doesn't really matter. The point is, we've done this before. You can edit your Zapiers later. But once we edit one, we've already kind of showed you these steps. It'll be a little different for your shopping cart, but the app event is the same. New order. We've already logged in to the account. We've already received data. So now we're going to go. This is an edit. This is a step you can use, but that we'll get to later. You don't need to add this step. Finally, the post is what we're going to actually customize here. We're going to go to the customize post section. When we're looking at this, we want to open that up and expand that. You always want to type in this URL. This is the TrepStar order server. This is what will happen when an order comes into your shopping cart. Zapier will call our server with all of this data below here. So the idea is TrepStar has field names it expects for the data. In this case, name, your company login email, the mode, whether it's test or production. This means state, email, your login password, the customer order's zip code, city, address, country, quantity, the order source, and the product ID. And there's quantity and product ID are important, but we'll get to that in a second. So in this case, you can also enter these in any order you want. You can, in this case for name, we combine two fields, the first name and the last name. Your shopping cart might have a different field name. They might just call it first name or customer F name or who knows what, or shipping first name. It's really depends on the shopping cart and how they choose to name these fields. But usually there's something that you can understand. We're combining the name. TrepStar expects the name to be combined. Once you've done the first, you can add it. Like for example, we could add another one, last name. Oops, in this case we did it twice. So we're going to delete that. We're going to delete this again because it went in the wrong order. Let's try that again. Customer first name. Now we're going to add customer last name. This is if you need to combine two data fields into one. This right here, spell that exactly. That's CO, like as in company. Login email. Doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase, but it needs to be spelled that way. And that's whatever your email is that you use to log into TrepStar. The mode is either test or production. If you order with production mode, the orders will be submitted as live orders. If you don't have any money in your account, they'll go on hold, but start out using test mode. That way they'll come into your account in TrepStar. You'll see them in recent orders, but you'll never be billed for them. They won't be made. Now TrepStar expects the shipping address, which in this case, if we scroll down, we can see Samcart has something called the shipping. It's the region, which is Minnesota. And we're going to go through this a little faster, but you just want to know that, and pause this video if you need to, but this is email. This is the customer email. This is your TrepStar login email. This is your TrepStar login password. This is the email of your customer. And again, that'll be a data field. Zip should be the shipping zip code or postal code, city. This is kind of self-explanatory. In this case, we have you want to combine two lines of data. Normally a shopping cart has line 1 and line 2, and just as we did for first name, you can combine two fields into one. TrepStar just expects one long street name. We'll break it up if we have to, but this is line 2 is usually things like apartment number 3 or suite number 2 or something like that. Shipping country, quantity, and product ID. And you'll see these are separated by commas. That's because if we look at this sample, they ordered two different products. These two refer to the product SKU or product ID number. Every shopping cart will assign your products some kind of ID. In this case, they ordered two of them, so they're separated by commas. This is product 1, this is product 2 that was ordered on this single order. They ordered 6 of this product, of the first one, and 1 of the second one. So quantity is they called it cart items quantity. Product ID, TrepStar requires this to be named product ID, even though there maybe is more than one. And this is the list, or it could be a single one as well. It works both ways. you want to type in something for A1 order source. A1 is for A1 Tech, our parent company, but we use this as a special field to tell us where the order is coming from. You can use Zapier, or you can call it Volusion or Magento, or any name you want. This way it'll show up in your recent orders on TrepStar from this source. For example, as different from just using the order form. So when you're all done, so you can just leave it as Zapier, or some single word item, 3D card, Magento, whatever you feel like doing here. And you can change it later as well. These are default values that should be set to no. This should be yes, and you don't have any special headers. And we're going to continue. When we do this, at the very end, we had tested one yesterday, but what we're going to do is do a retest and review. It'll send all that data from that sample order to TrepStar. What was returned in this case was a failure, and that's because we didn't have the right login and password, because we were just giving you an example here and we were typing in something that isn't a valid password. And where's the email? This isn't any valid TrepStar login email. So if you replace these with your actual login email and password, this will work better. So what will happen is we'll do the send data step again. Once you change that, you'll see some messages in here, and you can kind of tell if they're working or not, just kind of read what's returned. And you can even log into TrepStar and see if you see things flowing in, test orders, example, and so on. So when you're all done and it's working the way you want, be sure to come back in here and change the mode to prod, P-R-O-D, for production. That stands for production. And when you've done that, the orders will actually be submitted to TrepStar. They'll go on hold until you pay for them, but do this when you're ready. This is how to customize Zapier with any shopping cart that's supported by Zapier. These are for the ones, again, that TrepStar hasn't already written. So we have eJunkie, we've got Samcart, Shopify, Thrivecart, etc. Some more might be in this list later after this video was recorded, but you're kind of getting the basic idea here of how to take any generic shopping cart, use the new order trigger, and create a webhook to TrepStar. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.